Hello everybody, this is Rich Cispitas and I'm here with a video upload describing my theories on how the brain works when it performs telekinesis. Now I'm going to be kind of very detailed. I want to start off with the blood flow of the brain, how the blood flowing throughout the brain can disable or enable your telekinetic abilities. Now in the circle of telekinetics, to perform telekinesis you have to be in a neutral emotional state. And the reason why you have to be in neutral emotional state is because when you're on a daily life, when you're sitting at home or when you're at school and you're working on a problem, more blood flow is transferring toward that area of focusing and thinking. The brain's energy needs to be equalized, needs to be in equilibrium. The blood flow cannot be overwhelmingly one part of the area than the other. And that's why in telekinesis they say you have to be neutral, because in everyday life, when we're going through life, certain things, social things occur, and that causes more activity to go through and to activate in other parts than others. So in general, the brain becomes unbalanced and overactive. Now here's an example right here. Here's a brain scan of an individual looking at a picture or an object. Now as you can see, there's blue and red little swirls going on. What that is that's blood flow and neurotransmissions going out. There's too much activity actually. Now there's too much activity going through. You see there's the occipital lobe, there's too much activity in the frontal lobe and throughout the thalamus, and it's all over the place. So what that does, that creates too much unbalance and too much activity occurring throughout the brain. And what we want when you do telekinesis, the reason why they tell you to be in a neutral emotional state is because you want that energy to be equally distributed throughout the brain and not to be overwhelmingly in other parts than the others. What you want is to have an equal, calm amount of flowing energy, is to have an equilibrium of energy within us. It's almost like a perfect symmetry, harmony in a song, balance, rhythm. It's kind of like when you walk into a club and you hear a band playing their music and you're kind of like, well, maybe I can add something to that. And what that is that you and the universe are working together in that same manner. You're making music and making rhythm. So you're in rhythm together. Now what we have here is a picture of the brain. Now what I want to talk about is that when you're overly emotionally involved with the situation, or even hearing things or thinking about things, the whole entire brain is active. Like the corpus callosum is involved with that. The pons is involved with that. Every part of the brain, the brainstem, everything is sending electrical signals throughout the brain. Now, when you want to do telekinesis, you have to be in an emotional neutral state, because you don't want too much activity surging through the body too much. You don't want to be, it's like throwing around, it's like trying to tell a baseball player to hit a ball and you're like pushing him side to side. It makes it difficult. And when you're in that when you create that equilibrium of blood flow and electrical surges going on in the brain, you create a balance of even distribution of energy throughout the body and brain. And what I think is going on is that we're sending out a small, subtle frequency that the universe coincides with, and it's almost like a gateway through the space and time, and it allows to manipulate objects, and we call that telekinesis. And it's a small, subtle frequency that can only be emitted when we're in a calm, relaxed state. And our pineal gland is the strings on the guitar emitting that frequency out, or it's the instrument, you know. And the only way to allow the instrument to send out that frequency is to know how to play it, and that is to be balanced in rhythm of yourself. This is my theory on how we perform telekinesis in terms of memory retention. Now to me, I think that doing telekinesis, you know, I might be bouncing back and forth, but it's kind of like a glitch, you know, like a loophole that humans do, you know, that the creator kind of forgot to fix. And it's kind of like an elusive thing, because in the neurotransmissions, it's probably not like a natural occurring thing, but it's just a thing that we found a glitch over. And so like when you perform telekinesis, it's more of like remembering how you felt when you achieved it, of your past achievements of spinning a PSI wheel. So it's kind of an elusive thing altogether. because I see it as something that's not like a natural thing, like a set mechanism in the brain, like the occipital lobe and all the other parts of the brain. I see it as something's more elusive and kind of hard to grasp, more like cupping water in your hands. Because when I do telekinesis, it's almost like I have to recognize what it felt when I achieved spinning the PSI wheel or whatever. It's almost like you have to almost recall all the time when you're getting ready to do it. And what I want to also add before I go is I want to talk about the chakras and how the brain is essentially connected to the chakras. The brain and the internal nervous system and the spinal cord is connected to the stomach and the lungs and the heart and everything else. And also the glands of the sexual glands. And it's basically one complete system. Not only is it for functioning, being able to digest foods and to send out signals to keep the heart rate going and all the other things, but it has an alternate function, and that is to connect to the spiritual world and to connect to space and time, to send out energy and frequencies throughout space and time, which allows us to do telekinesis. The brain sends signals to these glands to be activated and to keep us alive. And when you're in a neutral emotional state to do telekinesis, you can send these, manipulate and send these signals to activate these glands to further perpetuate your telekinetic abilities, your chakras. This is Ricky says, but thank you guys for watching.